What are supports, resistance, and trend lines, and how do you draw them? Okay, I'm going to show you guys in this video how you locate a support and resistance, and I'll show you my own way and my own format and what I teach my students to know on how to do this. Okay, so um yeah, let's go into it. Welcome to Josh FX Pro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, and also like. If you have a comment, please drop your comments. I'm going to read the comments and I'm going to reply you. All right? Yeah, I'm going to reply you. Okay, let's go. So what are supports, resistance, and trend lines? All right. Now, um, let me go over to this. Remember this picture, right? When we're talking about candlesticks. Remember I told you something about resistance being the ceiling and support being the floor, right? Yeah, support being the floor. Remember I told you something like this. So in the chart now, you're going to see something like this. So support or resistance, rather, resistance is simply an area, a high area of the chart where you have markets, or rather the candlesticks rejecting from that place or finding it, or rather the candlesticks are struggling to break above that place. So you could see wicks go above but come back down to close, wicks mostly in that place. In this kind of scenario, something like this that you're seeing, for something like this that you're seeing here, you're seeing here, you're seeing here, you're seeing it in this whole area, and you're seeing it also here. So also something like this as well. So this shows a kind of a top or a high where market gets to reject often. Okay, where market gets to reject, or rather where market gets to, how do I remove this thingy? Am I in the wrong place like this? Okay, so yeah, where market gets to um struggle to break above, or rather where market gets to struggle to break or to cross that point. All right. So that level high is what you call your resistance. And you would have something like that for a support as well. You see here, market comes to bounce off that area without going below that point. It comes back there to bounce off that area. So that place is known to be like a support. They call it a support because it's just like you jumping off. So when you jump off from here, you come back to land on that point. Have you seen a bungee jump or this trampoline where you get to come in and tap on the trampoline, jump in, bounce off again? So it's kind of like the idea, right? So why they call this the floor, they call the top one the ceiling. They call the top one the ceiling. So it's like two areas in which markets are always finding it's hard to break above or break below. So support could turn resistance, resistance could turn support. I'll show you in a bit. So at the point market was here, this was representing a support area here and here, but later it became a resistance. It went below it and started tapping above from the downside to push down from the upside. So here it became like a ceiling. So it's like when you go down to a floor, this place becomes like a ceiling. When you climb down to a basement, that basement or the floor where you were before you went down to the basement, that place becomes your ceiling. When you go into the basement now, that floor becomes your ceiling, right? So it is in the same idea of this point. So support could be resistance, resistance could also become support. So in this case, we have series of support and resistance zones. We call them zones because it's not really a line. So if you look here, there's a box. It is boxed in. If you look here, it is boxed in. I will show you after now, I'll show you what it looks like on the real time frame chart. So now look at it. This is on the real time frame chart. And you see here, we have markets on this A, B points, and markets does all of this. So I will draw something for you guys to, let's say like a shape, or like, yeah, like a shape, yeah, or like a line. So I'll show you the different ways or the different um, um, types of support and resistance, the different types you need to see. It's red. I don't want red. Yeah, I want black. So we have different forms of support and resistance. We have this. We have how to know or how to draw your support and resistance. We have this, and also we have this. Okay, let me just extend this a little. Okay, so now there are different ways you could see support and resistance. You could see support and resistance as when it touches a particular place first time and also comes back to that place to touch it the second time. So we have twice from the downside. Now, once you notice the first two, 1, 2, and you draw a line to join the first touch and the second touch, that place becomes your support. Or you notice it from the downside, like this, again to that point. You notice it two touches from that point, 1, 2, or 1, 2. So when you join the first one to the second one, either from the downside or from the upside, it is also known as a support. So you just draw it. The third time it is coming back there, it becomes your support. Or you could have something like this, where it touches from the upside and one from the upside and also one from the downside. So this becomes an example of how you draw your supports and resistance zone. So in this case, you see how I joined the A. We have the A point where market tapped on this area and rejected, went down and came back to that area and tapped again and rejected. I joined this A point to the B point and I ran it all the way to that side. So in this case now, you have markets now start rejecting off that point. So that point where you see where you have identified as most of the rejection, market gets to respect all that points. You see the respecting points here, here, and it broke below here, respected it here, now it broke above. So it's possible that it's also going to do something after breaking above. It's going to come back here and do something like this. So that is how you draw your support and resistance. So you could join the two lows or you join the two highs or you join one low and one high on the same level and you draw it straight ahead, and that becomes what you know as your support and resistance. So if that makes sense, please you could take a picture of it before now. You could I just took it out, but you could take a picture of it. Let me put it back. So could take a picture. So you could take a picture of this. This is how to draw your support and resistance. So if you join the two lows or you join two highs points or you join one low point and a high point that is in the same area, or the same zone. That is how. So what I do is I put a line, join the two, then I box it in. So because what you want to try and do is you're trying to box in the area in which that market rejected from, or where you have the most rejections or the most interactions from. You can market comes there, tap in and bounced off, or the most bounce off, the most struggle to break off from. Yeah, something like that. You understand? So that is simply what it looks like, and this is how to find it. So if that is clear, let's go to the next one. Yep. I don't know how do people do these things again? Okay, okay. So to the next slide. Oh, shit. I don't think I have done that. All right. To the next slide. So here, you see the first one, the type 3. You know, there are three types. Let's call the first one type A, the second one type B, the third one type 3. I did the type 3, which you have a low connecting to a high, right? Now this one I joined a two high. So two high spots connected together. You see the first high, second high, then I connected it. This third time when it comes here is just to show you that market is respecting it. And if you look all the way down, you will see market respecting it here, break above, respect, break below, respect it, and also respect it here, coming down. So this is how you draw your supports and resistance, okay? It's like a way of boxing it in the zone. This is kind of like the zone in which market is expecting to go long or to go short. By now, you should already know what the word going long and going short means. So now I'm connecting the two lows. Remember, I told you type 3. This is type 3, and this is type, is it A or type 2 or 1? I think this is 2, and this is type 1, where you have two lows. So I connected this one and drew it alongside. So if you notice how market also did come respect it here, also come back to respect it here. So this became a major support. So you could also even join this one here. It's possible. So you could also join this one here. Let's see if this connected. Do we have this as a form of connection? Do we have this? I don't know if it connected, but I think so. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if this is straight, but you understand what I mean. So we have these two types, or this place can be your it's hold on. I gotta do something. Yeah. So this place, where is it? Yeah. So this place could be your one type, second type. I don't know if it makes sense. So the first one is from the downside and the upside, the highs and you're connecting highs and low, and then market comes back to give you this pattern here and for you to buy the market. Okay. So now you have seen the three types of patterns. There's this type, the type 1, and there's the type 2, which is let's go. Yeah, which is yeah, this. There's the type 2, which is this, and there's the type 3, which is one down, one up, or one up, one down. However it is. So as long as you're conversant with how to draw these things, it makes sense. Okay. So in this place, you could see different supports and resistance. You can see here connecting the two lows, and market still respects that area. See all these shaded places are where you see market respect as supports and resistance zones. Okay, so when you see market come down to this point on your zones, on your low, you see before you start entering the trade, you will see candlestick patterns or sometimes chart patterns. I think we'll talk about chart patterns. I haven't really dealt on chart patterns. Yeah, and I'll make a video about chart patterns. Yeah, I'll make a video about chart patterns. Let me write it down so I don't get to forget to do that. Video ideas. Just 1 minute, guys. Uh, yeah, so, yep. Okay, so, yeah, if you have any questions and you need to ask something, please drop it on the comment section and I'll answer your questions from there. So right now, I hope you understand what support and resistance is. And did I talk about trend lines? I think I did. Oh, yeah, I talked about trend lines. Okay. It's not here, but I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you how to draw a trend line. So the same thing applies for trend lines. When you want to connect trend line, just connect the first two that is on the top. So when you're connecting a downtrend, connect the highs, right? Connect the highs. When you connect this one to this one, is a downtrend, then you draw it all the way to the downside. Yeah. So that indicates that this is a downtrend. Yeah. But I use a tool. There's a tool I use. I use this parallel channel. You can be found here. I'll also talk about, yes, I also remember. I'll also talk about how to use TradingView. So go check out that video. I don't know if I would have posted the video by now, but it will be there. Yeah. How to use TradingView. TradingView. Yeah. So I would give a tutorial on how to use the TradingView. So this tool is a tool. It's like a Trendline tool. That's what I used to also use as my Trendline tool. So what happens is when I connect this one to this one, I just draw and make sure it taps on the two areas. the 2 points there, right? And by the time I draw it down, you see it gives me a lower point. Are you with me? So it gives me a lower point where market has probably or will probably be. So from this point, you see now I've indicated from here, I've indicated my lows and a high, a low, a high. So it's kind of box it in. So trend lines or trending markets is kind of what you call a diagonal support and resistance. So normal support and resistance is kind of like on your vertical view. Is that vertical? What do they call it? Is that vertical? Yeah, that's vertical. No, sorry, horizontal. So what you call your horizontal views, yeah. So normal support and resistance is like on your horizontal view, but this is a diagonal support and resistance where you have it flowing to the downside or to the upside. So the same thing applies to a downtrend. The same thing applies to an uptrend. You want to connect supports and resistance to the upside. This is how you do it. This is how I actually also do it. I connect this down one to this. Yeah, so, and did this close above? No, it didn't. So this is safe. Safe to close here. Yeah, so I draw it to this high. If I push it down a little. So now you would see it. So I only connected the two lows. So when you're connecting an uptrend, when you want to draw an uptrend, you connect the lows, the first low, second low, and that's all. When you're drawing a downtrend, you connect the highs, the first high, second high, and that's all. So in this case, I indicated this point, this point, this point, and this point, draw it. But then since I'm using this tool, it will just help me to, take it up to the upside on the same line. So if you notice how market also obeyed this center one, this center support and resistance, it's kind of like a middle zone you get within it. So this is how to draw your trend line in this market. So if you have any questions, please do ask me and drop it on the chat, on the comment section. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification. So when I drop more videos, you would get it. Okay. So for now, see you in the next video.